Hi, my name is Pete Hardy. I'm the Chief Instructor for STW Krav Maga Self-Defense here in San Antonio. And we're going to go through some basic combatives, fighting stance, and striking. So you guys can continue to work on your skill sets at home. I suggest what you do is go find a mirror and let the mirror be your partner and go through all these techniques and these movements in your mirror. When I started Krav Maga 20 plus years ago, no one else was trained. So every time I would come back to Texas, I would get in front of a mirror and go back through all the things that I learned when I was in Los Angeles. So it is a good way to train, is to use your mirror. So the first thing we're going to start with is your basic fighting stance to work with. So what I want you to do if you're watching is I want you to stand in what we would call a neutral stance with your legs right up underneath your shoulders, okay? And then what I want you to do from there is I want you to take a step out with one leg or the other and get your legs outside of your shoulders, okay? Nice and wide. So that I'm nice and stable. So what I'm doing, I'm stabilizing. Let's say that this going from right to left is east and west. I want to make sure that if I get hit that I'm stable going either direction. The next thing I'm going to do is if you're a right-handed fighter, okay, a right-handed fighter, I want you to take a next natural step forward with your left foot. Okay, just a natural step, nothing unusual, okay, nothing longer than what would be comfortable. And if you're a left-handed fighter, step forward with your right leg. That's a left-handed fighting stance, okay? So again, my legs are gonna stay wide, just outside my shoulders. I'm gonna step forward, so now my stability is east and west, going back and forth. So if I were to get hit here, then I'm stable going down to the ground by having my legs separated forward. From here, my hands are going to come up in front of my face. My elbows are going to come inside my rib cage. And I want to think about my index finger and my thumb sort of being a windshield of a car. I want to make sure that I'm always looking through that at all times, okay? I want to keep my elbows tucked in nice and tight so that my core is coming in and my elbows are down, helping protect the vital organs in my body, all right? Now, the misconception that people have about striking, creating power, and reach is that they start leaning when they start punching. What you want to do is you want to rotate, okay? So if I take my shoulders that are going east and west and I rotate my shoulders north and south, I get longer, okay? That's how I get my reach. I don't want to get my reach by leaning. If you get your nose in front of your toes and somebody grabs you, you're going to go down and you're going to be on concrete and asphalt in a ground fight, okay? So my hands stay up, my elbows stay tucked in nice and tight. So along with getting reach, I get power by snapping my body and launching my fist, all right? So I'm gonna take my foot, my knee, my hip, and my shoulder, and I'm rotating those forward as I punch with my left hand as a righty. And when I rotate and snap my body, it's gonna accelerate my punch out and bring my punch back. Whether I'm using a closed fist, a palm strike, or an elbow, these mechanics would be the same, all right? So step into your fighting stance. So I got my guys behind me, going to try to track with us. My hands are going to be up. We're going to go with a closed fist punch first, okay? I want to make sure that my top two knuckles on my fist are my striking surface. So as I roll my body, foot, knee, hip, shoulder, okay, I'm going to push my fist forward, okay? Bring it out, keep my right hand on my face. I'm rotating. I'm going to recoil back and come back the same direction. So that same direction that I push it out is the same direction I'm going to bring it back. On my right side, the same thing. Foot, knee, hip, shoulder. I'm going to rotate my body, accelerate my fist out, get my reach, strike with the top two knuckles, keep my left hand on my face, recoil my punch, bring it back the same direction, all right? So, and again, this is my left, rotate out, bring it back. Rotate out, bring it back. So what you want to sort of think about is this, is that when you punch, you don't want to punch just for the sake of punching. I want to be targeting. I want to be able to hit my target. I want to be able to put my punch, my hammer fist, my elbow, my palm strike exactly where I want it. So as I send my punch forward, think of this as like a long gun. Here's the barrel end of your gun. Okay, these are your sights looking through my hand. So as my chin goes behind my shoulder, I'm looking down my arm and looking at exactly what it is that I want to hit, and I'm going to recoil back. If I throw it right, it's the same thing. I'm going to put my chin behind my shoulder, look down my arm to make sure I'm hitting the target that I want to hit, all right? So what we're going to do from here, I'm going to use our instructors out here to show you a little bit more what that work looks like in full speed. So again, as I said, there's a misunderstanding about power. A small person can hit as hard as a big person if you can send your strike out with lots of velocity. Velocity being speed, okay? Speed is what creates power in fighting. So it's how fast I can launch my fist, how fast I can launch my fist out, accelerate it forward, that's gonna create the damage. And again, that's foot, knee, hip, shoulders, sending it out. So what these guys are gonna do on command, they're gonna go with their left jabs. They're all three right-handed strikers. Okay, and they're going to snap those punches out and snap them back. Ready, and go! 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 Good, now they're going to do the same thing on a right cross. Notice the body mechanics, foot, knee, hip, shoulder, rotating out, sending the strikes out, straight out to their target, and bringing it straight back. Right cross, ready, and go! 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 Good, now what we're going to do now is work on a combination. So when you throw a combination, one behind the other, as I send my left jab, think about this. Think as your body is a spring, all right? So as I send my left jab out, my core has wound up, my body has wound up, my left shoulder has come forward, my right shoulder has come back. So now on the recoil, when I recoil back, bringing my second punch, I'm going to let that spring unwind and just send that next punch forward. So I'm snapping it out, and just think about a spring. My spring is nice and tight right here. My core is tight. My back shoulder is back. My front shoulder is up. I'm going to let that unwind on the recoil and send the next punch out and bring it back, all right? So again, these guys are going to throw a nice quick combination. Ready, and go! 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 Good, and time. All right, so moving on from there. So what we're going to do is we're going to run through our tool belt on using our hands first, all right? So the first is a closed fist punch that we're just working on, all right? In a street fight, we do not really recommend a closed fist punch because in a fight for your life, the last thing you want to do is break your hands or break a hand. And they break real easily if you're not a trained fighter. Even professional fighters break their hands all the time. So we're going to go to the next one, which is called a palm strike, all right? So what you're going to do is you're going to have the same fighting stance, elbows in, except now you're going to leave your hands open. You're going to send the heel of your hand right here, the meaty part, and extend that forward. Let your fingers stay open and pliable. That way as you strike, maybe as a bonus, you get a couple of eyeballs on the way in. But what I don't want to do is close them because it's the same effect. If I hit something solid with my fingers closed, there's a good chance I could break my fingers, all right? So I want them open and pliable, so if I do hit, my finger will bend and give and not break, all right? So these are just additional tools in your tool belt. So with my hands, I have closed fist, and now I have the palm strike, all right? The guy's going to show you it's the same mechanics using the palm strike, all right? We're going to do a lunge jab first with the palm strike, ready, and go! 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 Good, right cross with the palm strike. Ready, and go! 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 Good, now we're going to do a combination. The last thing I want to add is when you send that palm strike, I want you to let that thumb, as I come in, let it slightly quarter turn on the way in to accelerate the punch a little bit, and I'm going to cover a little bit more surface as I strike. All right, here we go. So we're going to throw it in a combination on the left-right because once again we have three right-handed fighters. Ready, and go! 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 Excellent. All right, we're going to move on right on down. That is our combative lesson for the day. We're going to continue these on until we get ourselves back open again and probably maybe keep these going after we are open again. I did not introduce my guys. So over here is Daniel. Daniel is a senior black belt instructor on this side. You want to introduce yourself, what you do?
I am an EMT student right now. I went to the ER as well, and I've been in the Krav Maga for 10 years.
Perfect. All right. You introduce yourself?
My name is Adrian. I'm a Sheriff's Deputy Detention Officer in the Grand County Sheriff's Office. I've been at Krav Maga 8 years.
Okay. Yeah, and this is Mike. He's one of our instructors in training and also one of our advisors for membership sales. Go ahead, tell me about yourself.
My name's Mike. I've been part of this family for over 20 years, and I'd be happy to help you guys out.
All right, excellent. All right, so once again, that's the lesson for the day. Get in front of a mirror, go over your combatives, and if there's anything you're going to spend hours and hours and hours on, it's your fighting stance. Get your fighting stance perfected. Get this footwork perfect. So no matter what happens to you, you always end up within a half an inch of where your feet are going to be in your fighting posture. Work on it and work on it and work on it. All right, you guys have a great rest of the day.